Hi everybody, I hope you guys had a super duper weekend. Happy Monday morning. So, remember I kind of warned you that this day was coming? I'm officially out of fun mugs for breakfast with the book. So what I have this morning is just my plain old mugs. This is all I have left. Sorry guys. It was so fun while it lasted. Luckily, though, I still have plenty of fun books to share with you guys. Next week is going to be our camp week. Every year in first grade, we have a couple weeks that we usually dedicate to doing some fun camp activities. So next week is when we're going to be doing all of our fun camp activities. However, I have so many great camp fun books to share with you guys that I'm starting the camp books this week. So we'll do camp books this week and next week. And today I'm actually going to start with one of my very, very favorites. Do you guys remember back to December when we read Moosekitos? Well, our favorite funny moose is back in the book titled Moosekitos, a moose family reunion. Now, we remember from our Christmas book about moose, he is a really funny moose, and some funny things happen to him sometimes, and that big old mustache of his. So let's see what happens in Moosekitos, a Moose Family Reunion by Margie, Palatini, and illustrated by Henry Cole. I see a fly swatter. Why do you think they need a fly swatter? If the title is Moosekitos, why do you think they're going to need a fly swatter? Let's see. Moose was feeling a mite melancholy, a bit blue, sort of sad. He was missing his big, moosey family. Why, he hadn't seen them in years. Looking at old family photos was almost bringing him to tears. Moose missed being together, making memories, enjoying good times. He even missed grumpy Uncle Harry and Cousin Curly's bad jokes. Do you have anybody in your family that tells bad jokes? In my house, I think it might be Mr. Lines. He missed Aunt Lorene's bad cooking. Moose sighed. Gosh, how he longed to see all the folks. My poor down in the dumps dear, said his darling missus. There's no need to pine or long or be lonesome. Let's plan a party, a reunion, a celebration. My love, what do you say to an old-fashioned family vacation? A family reunion vacation? How simple, how easy, how perfectly perfect. Moose calls went out, north to south, east to west, and all places in between. From relatives up in Moosekitos to the kin down in Mississippi, to the mooses in Texas, Montana, and even south in Alabama, the whole hairy herd would meet up at their Mountain Moose Lodge. A big family reunion vacation. Moose's mustache curled in anticipation. He planned three-legged races for the very first day, silly songs for the next. He scheduled swimming and sunning and tanning and fanning, boating, floating, hiking, biking, mornings to fish, time to chat and to dish. And everyone sleeping under the stars. Togetherness, sighed Mary Moose, positively, perfectly perfect. So Moose sounds like he has some pretty fabulous plans. What happened in our other story we read about Moose? I know it was a long time ago, but what happened with all of his perfect plans? Did they go quite perfect? Do you think they're going to go quite perfect this time from what we remember about our character Moose? Let's see. With calendars marked with an X and watches synchronized to the second, mooses from coast to coast loaded up cars, packed vans, and stuffed trucks Toot, toot, honk, honk. Lots of goodbye waves, and off they went. Caravans chugging up the hills, slid down dales, snaked through tunnels, crossed bridges, rivers, this way, that way, left, right, to the tippy top of the mountain and Moose Lodge. Aunties, uncles, sisters, brothers, each and every cousin piled out to meet and greet. There was lots of moose hugging, cuddling, and kissing, handshaking, back slapping, hand clapping, tears and giggles too. It was just as Moose hoped and planned. One big, perfectly perfect family reunion, said Moose, ready with his camera, and click, all together again. Now everyone say cheese. Huh? Achoo! No, that was a sneeze. Look here. His mustache is playing checkers. Can you imagine? The next evening, as daylight faded, the stars came out and everyone trailed back for dinner. Moose was ready and waiting. He had a campfire crackling, stew bubbling, potatoes roasting, marshmallows toasting. Moose got out his banjo and plunked and plinked his favorite sing-along tune. He strummed, he hummed, he sang, and he crooned. Nobody joined in. The kiddies whined and were cranky. The teens were tired and bored. Aunt Lorene yawned. Mo and Larry sat back and snored. Quiet, said Uncle Harry, shuffling off to bed. But what about family togetherness? Moose sighed, sadly eating s'more all by his lonesome. At last, the campfire flames flickered, and only the sound of Moose heard a solo rivet. Then, somewhere in the dark, in the quiet, came a bzzz, then a nee, and then a nee, and then a nee. Ouch! Ooh! Ee! Ooh! Ouch! Slap! Smack! Slap! Smack! Scratch! 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 What is happening? Land sakes, it's Moosekitos! Cried Mississippi aunties, wailing in alarm. Blasted buggy biters, shouted Uncle Tex in the middle of the swarm. Slap, slap, smack, smack, scratch, itch, scratch. Help! Mosquitoes, yelled the boys as they tumbled off their cots. Help! Mosquitoes, cried the girls covered with bumpy pink polka dots. They are getting swarmed and attacked by millions of mosquitoes. Do something, my darling, said Mrs. Moose as she scratched in between achoo's. But Moose pondered and wondered and worried. What could he really do? Then suddenly, he froze. One of the biggest mosquitoes had landed right on his nose. Moose gulped and went eye to eye with that big buzzer. They glared. They stared. Who would blink first? And then Moose grinned and smiled. He didn't swat, smack, or swish, but he knew exactly what to do. He reached into his knapsack, which is like a backpack, for his tried and true mustache glue. Now, we're familiar with this mustache glue, aren't we? What did he use the mustache glue for in the Moosekitos book we read? Yeah, he used it to make himself into a Christmas tree. That's right. Do you think he's making himself into a Christmas tree now? I don't think so either. What do you think he could be doing with this mustache glue to help with the mosquito problem? Let's see. Moose ordered one and all to take a heaping hooful of the white pasty glop. Then Tex lassoed some whiskers from the bottom, while the beehive aunties took hold from the top, herded around in a circle. Everyone took a share of moose hair, while even Uncle Harry took part. And with Moose's orchestration and a little humming and some dandy moosey dosey dos, together they all wove this way and that way, then that way, and up and down and front and back. What are they doing with his mustache? There was no need to worry, no reason to fret. Thanks to Moose and his moustache, the family now had the world's biggest mosquito net. They took his mustache and made it into a mosquito net. The glued brood was safe, sound, and snuggled all around, with Moose smack dab in the middle. Oh, yes, it was cramped. It was crowded, and Uncle Harry's snores were most definitely loud. But they were together at last, close as any family could be. Moose sighed. It was perfectly perfect, even if they did itch. And that is the end. And look what they did here in the cover art. They put some pictures from their reunion. Whoops, they forgot to get their whole heads in there. Don't you hate when that happens? It looks like they had a great family vacation and a great reunion. So that was the tale of Moosekitos with our friend the Moose. He always gets himself into some predicaments, doesn't he? Sometimes things just don't go perfectly perfect, and we have to know that's okay, and we just make the best of it, just like doing school from home. It's not quite perfectly perfect, is it? But we're all just going to been doing the best that we have, and you guys have been awesome. You have been awesome. Your parents have been awesome. Everybody's been awesome. So thank you for being like Moose and finding the perfectly perfect moments in it, even if it wasn't quite what we had thought. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye, everybody.